Welcome to Audit the Audit, where we sort out the who and what and the right and wrong of police interactions. This episode covers recording the police, traffic stops, and officer safety, and was mirrored through the Batosi's channel, but originally uploaded by Kizo's Evo's channel. Be sure to check out the description below and give them the credit that they deserve. Let's dive right in and audit the interaction. The details of this encounter are obscure, and the information surrounding this interaction is very limited, but the video exemplifies a common occurrence taking place during a routine traffic stop and offers many teachable moments throughout. The video was originally posted on January 1st, 2016 and features officers from the St. Paul Police Department in St. Paul, Minnesota. It is safe to assume that this video was filmed sometime around the original upload date because one of the officers, which you will see later, Officer Hector Menacarion, joined the St. Paul Police Department in January of 2013 and was promoted to patrol duty in September of 2014, which places the recording of this video sometime between late 2014 and January 1st, 2016. I was unable to locate any information about the driver or either of the passengers of the vehicle, but the contextual clues scattered throughout the video led me to the assumption that they are residents of the St. Paul area.
Hello.
There you go.
Yeah, when I was looking down, I looked up and I was like going right through the light.
Here, the approaching officer asks the driver if she knows why she was pulled over. This question is often asked by officers conducting a traffic stop as a means of validation. The phrase, "Do you know why I pulled you over?" roughly translates to, "Are you willing to incriminate yourself?" If you choose to answer that question, bear in mind that a detailed response is not necessary and will likely result in incrimination. Another similar question often asked by officers is, "Do you know how fast you were going?" A wise answer to that question is simply yes. Further elaboration is completely unnecessary. The Fifth Amendment guarantees citizens the right to silence, especially from answering incriminating questions. Anything you say at any point during an interaction with the police will likely be used against you in court, and remaining silent as much as possible is always a good decision. Unfortunately, the driver of the vehicle willingly admits that she ran through a red light, thus incriminating herself and providing the officer with sufficient evidence to issue a citation.
What do you mean?
I got myself on that.
Huh?
The reason you're pointing yourself
Yep, for my safety and your safety.
Well, you're being recorded right now. You
Okay,
nothing
that's
to
good.
fear. I'm not here to hurt you.
All right, good. Thank you.
But I'm asking you for my safety, please put your phone down.
For your safety,
Yes,
put my
you
phone
need to
down.
put your phone down, please. Just set it down on the seat.
Set it down on the seat.
Yes.
Like that? Is that good?
I want you to set it down face up. I want to make sure you're not calling more people over here that will compromise my safety. Okay, set it down face up. Face up. I want to see the screen the whole time because I want to make sure you're not calling people here.
It's gonna be like this. It's fine like that. Thank you.
Squad 369, can I get one more card, please? If you continue not to listen to me, I'm going to have to take you out of the car.
Hey,
That'll be illegal.
please,
No, it won't.
can you
Yes,
please-
it would be.
On a June evening in 1996, Maryland State Trooper David Hughes observed a passenger car speeding down I-95 in Baltimore County. Trooper Hughes stopped the car after a brief pursuit and approached the vehicle, noticing that the driver was trembling and seemed extremely nervous. During the encounter, Trooper Hughes noticed that the front seat passenger, Jerry Lee Wilson, was sweating and also appeared nervous. While the driver was sitting in the driver's seat looking for the rental papers, Trooper Hughes ordered Mr. Wilson out of the car. When Mr. Wilson exited the car, a quantity of drugs fell on the ground, and Mr. Wilson was then arrested and charged with possession. Before trial, Mr. Wilson moved to suppress the evidence, arguing that the trooper's order for him to exit the car constituted unreasonable search and seizure under the Fourth Amendment. After both the Circuit Court and the Court of Special Appeals affirmed Mr. Wilson's motion, the Supreme Court took on the case and reversed the lower two courts' decision, establishing a clear precedent precedent in regards to an officer's authority to order passengers in and out of a vehicle during a traffic stop. The court held that, quote, danger to an officer from a traffic stop is likely to be greater when there are passengers in addition to the driver in the stopped car. We therefore hold that an officer making a traffic stop may order passengers to get out of the car pending the completion of the stop. This ruling solidified the notion that officers may extract passengers from a vehicle under the authority of the inherent detention of the original traffic stop, and that no further suspicion or probable cause is necessary to justify the extraction. Both Justice Stevens and Justice Kennedy dissented from the ruling and warned that such a decision could have a lasting negative impact on the integrity of the Fourth Amendment. Nonetheless, the St. Paul officers are within their authority to order the recording passenger out of the car at any time, and it would not be illegal or a violation of the Fourth Amendment as it is currently interpreted by the Supreme Court.
Why? So I can turn it off and they can do something?
The guy back here is being uncooperative. He keeps pointing his cell phone on me and recording it. So I told him to put it down, face up, so I can see he's not trying to call someone, and he won't do it.
Call someone. Can you give us the ticket? If that's what it's gonna be.
Hand your phone to one of those officers out there.
Nope, I'm not gonna do that.
Babe.
Do you know this guy in the back car?
Yes,
Back in your car?
it's
I'm
my
just
boyfriend.
recording for my safety and for everyone's safety.
Tell him he doesn't need to do this.
Is there a problem?
But why is there such an
you have some
issue
body
if she
cameras?
has a...
The cameras
Okay.
are on right now.
Okay,
How
so
many-
why
how many-
is
You
there
can hand the phone.
That's fine, I'm gonna leave it
Why
on.
is there such a big issue
leave
if he
it on,
has
you
his
can't
phone?
I'm not gonna hand you my property.
Okay, and I'm telling you right now, I don't know what you're doing with your phone.
What?
I'm
And
recording.
until you comply with us, I'm going to keep asking you, and we're
I'm
going to keep going
recording.
down this road.
That's not illegal,
What's going
officer.
on?
That's not illegal.
Okay, well, it is right now.
No,
I'm asking
it's
you
not illegal, officer.
because I don't know what you're doing with your phone.
I'm recording. That's what I'm doing.
getting annoyed because
I'm recording. That's what I'm doing.
Yes, is this your car?
yes,
Are you the registered owner?
yeah,
Did you just buy it?
yeah.
Do I have your permission to just put his phone on the
No,
hook? So we
don't.
can
You
continue
you
with
don't
the
have
traffic
permission.
stop, please?
No.
This is your car.
The Fourth Amendment protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures, and that right is not relinquished to the driver of the vehicle you are a passenger in. The driver of the vehicle cannot grant the officer the authority to seize the passenger's phone, and by no stretch of legal precedent is the officer's demand for the passenger to surrender their cell phone lawful. Generally, the lawfulness of an officer's orders are considered on a case-by-case basis and subject to a reasonableness test. When an officer issues questionable orders as a safety precaution, courts are to consider whether an objective, reasonable officer would have issued the same order within the same circumstances. It is difficult to imagine a scenario where a court would agree that the recording passenger's actions presented a legitimate safety concern for the officers involved in this interaction, and it is likely that the SPPD officer's orders would be found unlawful in a courtroom.
If you're not up to any no good, there's no
I
problem.
don't
Say
know
no.
what's going
Just tell them
on. Why
no,
is
they
this
don't have my
turning
permission.
into
Sorry, I
this?
don't know.
Because of his behavior back here.
Because
Why?
there's-
Because he's videotaping
Yes, it's
you?
a routine traffic stop, and I don't know
What are you
he's
afraid
doing.
of?
He said he's telling you that he is recording
Okay,
you.
but listen to me. Just please listen to what I'm trying to tell you.
Okay, we're listening.
I have no idea if he's broadcasting that live, and if he is, that's compromising everyone's safety.
We're
here.
not broadcasting it
I don't know that,
live.
okay? And that's why we need to get the phone away from him while the traffic stop is on, and then we'll be good to go from there.
You can't take
You
my
have
phone.
the phone back as soon as we're done. I just don't want that going on because I have no idea who's watching that video right now. I have no idea.
I don't
understand where I'm
It's
coming
not
from?
illegal for him to record you, though. Is it illegal?
It is not illegal, but what I'm
Okay,
telling you is
it's
Okay,
not
then
compromising our
so
safety
if it's
while
not
we're here.
illegal, so why is it a problem if it's not illegal?
I just explained to you why. Because I have no idea why you would do that. That's not.
Why?
Because people are
Are
getting
you kidding
shot
me?
at
You know how many
routine
black
traffic
people are
stops.
getting shot?
He has nothing to do with this. He's just
How many?
sitting here.
It's on the news. It's on the news.
Okay, can we
Who
just
got shot today? I don't know.
Go?
Right, nobody.
Can we
Well,
please?
I want to keep it that way.
Listen,
I want to keep it that way.
We're just trying to do a
Babe,
job, bro. And
can
Okay.
you guys relax?
I'm gonna need-
He's not.
Have,
I
Nobody's-
I'm gonna need the badge numbers of everyone.
I've been
That's
very
fine.
I know, and he's
Everyone-
not being disrespectful to you either. He's saying
this
that he
worker right
wants to
there?
record.
right, you see the red light?
And
No.
see, both
You
of
see
us
the
are
red light?
recording this entire incident.
Can I turn around and look?
Go ahead, man.
That's it.
This is
Yeah,
so
sir.
annoying. This is
No,
exactly
no.
what people are
That's a
talking
camera.
about.
No one
Okay.
is out here
What
to
is
hurt
it?
you.
What's that?
No one is out here to hurt you.
Okay, and I wanna. Is there a problem with me filming?
He
But
just
why is
explained
there
why
issue
he
with
wants
him
you filming.
filming it? It's not illegal. You just said
but
it's not illegal.
Incoming call.
You
Press
just
your
said it's not
connect phone
illegal.
button
So
to
why does it
answer.
matter?
I'm not calling anyone. You can see that. You can see
We're
that
gonna
too.
work out right here.
Look, I'm not calling anyone.
I don't have a clue how your phone works, bro.
This is Galaxy S6
I don't have a
Edge.
Galaxy X6, all right, man? I don't have that.
This is a video function.
Oh
Okay,
my
that's
God.
great. I don't know how your phone
You can
works.
stream video. That's
Right?
what
You
he's
can make
trying
up
to
an
explain.
app. Hey, you can make up an app, right?
Okay.
You know how technology works, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
What's your name?
Please just go.
Officer Menacarion, it's right there.
And badge number?
371.
Your name and badge number?
I'll give you my card when we're done with the
Okay,
traffic stop,
I appreciate
as you
it.
asked. Okay?
They were supposed to send my license plate in the mail.
Making a
3
big deal
weeks
about
ago,
this
or
phone.
3 weeks after I got
Those are
the
you.
car, and they never gave it to
Well,
me.
this is my right.
And I was
I'm going to
just
protect
supposed
my
to go
rights, sir.
yesterday, but I had
I'm
to
just
go
letting you know,
to
man.
work.
You're clearly misinformed.
In 2017, Missouri District Judge Nanette Lowry issued a controversial and widely misinterpreted ruling in the case of Atkins v. Knight, which would later be affirmed by the 8th Circuit Court. In that case, the judge cited a previous ruling from the 2004 8th Circuit case of Rice v. Kemper, saying, quote, "Citizens have no constitutional right to videotape any public proceedings they wish to." This statement prompted local CBS affiliate KRCG to publish an article which inaccurately interpreted the ruling as declaring that citizens do not have the right to record public officials at all. This article was met with significant backlash from the National Press Photographers Association and other legal scholars for misrepresenting the context of the ruling. Shortly after the publication of the KRCG article, several law enforcement officers began to use the ruling to deter citizens from filming them without proper understanding of either the Atkins case or the Rice case. A closer look at each case reveals that they are not referring to a right to record public officials in any capacity, but more so the time, place, and manner restrictions which apply to that right. Given that the language of the Atkins case is somewhat ambiguous and unclear, it is likely that qualified immunity would play a significant role in an officer's authority to demand citizens to stop recording them. However, the St. Paul Police Department's policy on recording police interactions, which was ironically revised around the time of this encounter, is very clear that citizens are within their rights to record public officials. Not only is the recording passenger within their constitutional rights to record this interaction, but the department's policy offers an additional layer of protection against these officers' actions.
I'm going to protect my rights.
But is it illegal for him to videotape?
No, but the officer explained to you.
But if it's not illegal, then you can't ask
They
someone
think
to
we're
do
not
something
educated.
if
That's the
it's not
problem.
illegal.
You can ask some
They think
people
we're not
to do whatever-
educated.
Okay, but
He's asking
just because you
like-
ask somebody to do it doesn't mean that they have to if it's not illegal.
Woodcrest. I can find it.
It's
for
not
you.
illegal, right?
We're not going to debate it with you.
Exactly. We're not
Okay.
going to debate. He's not going to give you his phone because it's his property, and you guys don't have a reason to take him out of the car. He didn't do anything to you.
Yep. As soon as they touch me, it's going to be a lawsuit.
Why?
That's
For
what's going to
what?
Because
happen.
we can remove all the passengers from the
That's
car.
what's going to
what?
happen.
For what
We feel
though?
like we have the need to.
But
Because that's the law.
why would you feel like he had a need to? Because he was
Because-
videotaping?
Because, ma'am, a normal traffic stop does not go like this. Because we don't
Exactly.
get this much resistance from people on a normal
Resistance.
traffic
It's
stop.
suspicious.
That's unusual.
What is
suspicious,
suspicious?
huh?
Because he wants to videotape you?
No, it's suspicious the amount of resistance that we're getting at a normal traffic stop.
Oh my God.
If I was up to no good, I wouldn't tape it.
Babe,
That's
can we
common
please-
sense.
Like I explained to you, so no
Okay.
one is out here to hurt you. We're
Okay,
just trying
thank
to
you.
look out for our own safety.
Appreciate it.
Nobody's
Thank
trying to attack you guys.
you. Okay.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
Well,
So it's illegal for me to hold my
You
phone?
guys are watching the same news that we're watching, and I understand.
Yeah, we're
I
watching the
understand where
same
you're
news that
coming from.
you're watching, and if we want to videotape, that's our right.
I'm not trying to be a jerk, but that's
He's not going to send it to anybody. He's just making sure for his safety nothing happens to
I
him.
have no reason
And
to
if something
believe- I have
does
no
happen to him,
reason
he'll
to
have the
believe that.
video.
I have just met you just now. I have no reason to believe that.
appreciate if you
I have no.
Hey, babe,
I have no
just-
clue where your
just stop talking to them.
Right?
we wouldn't have to talk to
Is
them.
that true?
We don't have to talk.
Okay.
Phone down so he can tell us. He can let
Yeah,
us go.
can you
He
just
said
put your
that-
phone down,
He
please?
said he'll let us go.
You don't have to quit recording. You can just put
It's
your
down.
phone down.
Having been satisfied by the passenger sitting his phone down, the officer returns to his patrol car to run the driver's license. The officer eventually allows the vehicle and its occupants to leave the scene without issuing a citation and without further incident. I was unable to locate any more details about this encounter. Overall, the officers of the St. Paul Police Department get an F for attempting to infringe upon a civilian's right to record public officials, weaponizing safety concerns to appease their ego, and displaying a general lack of education in regards to First Amendment rights and department policy. Officers often abuse the legal leeway that safety precautions offer, and it is not uncommon for the justice system to give officers the benefit of the doubt. But the officers involved in this interaction displayed a fundamental misunderstanding and complete disregard for the basic tenets of the rights protected under the First Amendment, and no respectable court could justify their actions. It is disheartening that even in this new age of police accountability, ushered in by a modern technological revolution, officers are still undereducated on the limits of their authority, despite the boundless information and unending resources available to them. The driver and passengers of this interaction get an A-, because although they did exercise their rights without being violent or vulgar, and did not allow the officer to intimidate them into submission, the occupants of the vehicle failed to exercise their right to silence, and the driver openly admitted to committing a crime. I commend the recording passenger for questioning the legality of the officer's orders and refusing to stop recording despite being threatened and compelled to surrender his rights. Recording interactions is not always enough to ensure the safety of everyone involved in a police encounter, but it is very likely that this interaction would have rendered a different result had the passenger complied with the officer's orders. This interaction expertly highlights the importance of maintaining a balance between exercising your rights and complying with orders issued by members of law enforcement. Let us know if there's a legal topic or interaction you would like us to cover in the comments below. Be sure to check out our Patreon page for ad-free, uncensored, and exclusive episodes. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more police interaction content.